Have you ever wondered why your dog, your cat, or even wild animals seem to live such short lives compared to trees that stand for centuries? Why do animals generally die after just a few years or decades, while many plants some right in your local park can live for hundreds or even thousands of years? To answer that, we need to zoom out and look at how life operates on Earth. Let's start with animals. Animals are built for movement. They walk, run, fly, swim. That means they have muscles, nervous systems, and high energy demands. Every heartbeat, every breath, every step burns energy, and that energy comes at a cost. Because of this constant energy use, animals produce waste inside their own cells, tiny toxic byproducts from metabolism. Over time, those byproducts damage cells, wear down tissues, and lead to aging. Plants, on the other hand, don't move. They just grow, slowly, steadily, quietly. They convert sunlight into energy through photosynthesis. Their metabolic rate is much lower. They don't burn out the way animals do. Think of it like a candle. Animals are like a candle, burning fast and bright. Plants are more like a glowing ember, slow but persistent. Now, energy use is only part of the story. Another key difference lies in complexity. Animals, especially higher animals like mammals and birds, are made up of incredibly complex organ systems. You've got a brain, a heart, lungs, a liver, kidneys. All finely tuned, all interdependent. If one system fails, the whole organism can collapse. In contrast, plants are modular. If a branch dies, the tree keeps going. If a leaf withers, another can grow in its place. Plants can regenerate. Some can even clone themselves. In fact, some plants don't really age in the way we understand it. That's why certain trees, like bristlecone pines or sequoias, can live for thousands of years. They grow slowly, repair themselves, and don't depend on a single, central, vital organ. Now let's talk about another factor: predators. Animals live in a world full of risk. They have to avoid being eaten. They have to fight for food, compete for mates, escape disease, survive accidents. All of this creates pressure to reproduce early and often before something kills you. Because of this, many animals have evolved shorter lifespans. It's not about lasting forever. It's about reproducing before your time runs out. Plants don't face the same kind of risks. Sure, they can be eaten too, but they don't need to run from danger. Many have defenses: thorns, toxins, bitter tastes. And because they're rooted in place, they can afford to grow slowly and invest in longevity. It's an entirely different survival strategy. There's also something else, something called programmed aging. Some scientists believe that in animals, aging is not just a byproduct of wear and tear. It might actually be built in, a way to make room for the next generation. If older animals stuck around forever, younger ones would struggle to find food, mates, and territory. So death, in a strange way, helps life go on. Now, let's look at a few examples. The common mouse lives only about 2 years. Why? It has a fast metabolism, reproduces quickly, and faces constant threats. Nature built it for speed and numbers, not longevity. In contrast, the Greenland shark can live over 400 years. It moves slowly, lives in cold water, has few natural predators, and matures very late, around 150 years old. Its entire lifestyle supports a long life. On the plant side, we see even more extremes. The creosote bush in the Mojave Desert can live over 11,000 years. That's older than most human civilizations. It doesn't do anything flashy. It just survives slowly, silently, and steadily. Or take the clonal colony of quaking aspens in Utah called Pando. It looks like a forest, but it's actually one giant organism connected by a single root system. It's been alive for at least 80,000 years. It survives by cloning itself. When one tree dies, another sprouts up. Plants have found ways to avoid the finality of death. Animals, for the most part, haven't. But there's an exception worth talking about: Turritopsis dohrnii, the so-called immortal jellyfish. This creature, when injured or aged, can revert its cells back to an earlier state and start life over again. It's the biological equivalent of pressing reset. While it's not truly immortal, it can still be eaten or infected. It's the closest thing science has found to an animal that escapes aging. Still, most animals aren't built like that. We live fast, we burn bright, and eventually, we fade out. So what does this mean for us? Well, humans are animals too, but we've learned to extend our lifespans using medicine, sanitation, and technology. We've fought back against nature's clock, but even with all our advancements, we're not likely to outlive a bristlecone pine. Not yet, anyway. So why do animals generally die? Because death is built into the system. Because our biology trades long life for mobility, adaptability, and complexity. And why do animals live shorter lives than plants? Because plants chose a different path. One of patience, of endurance, of quiet strength. They don't need to hunt, or flee, or fight. They just grow, survive, and when the time is right, reproduce. Slowly, repeatedly, sometimes for millennia. We, on the other hand, live in a body that wears down with time. A heart that beats over 100,000 times a day. Lungs that breathe 20,000 times daily. A brain that processes billions of signals every second. We pay for our intelligence, our mobility, and our emotion with the price of aging and, eventually, death. But in that trade-off, we also gain something else: experience, growth, relationships, wonder. So maybe the point isn't to live as long as a tree. Maybe the point is to live as deeply as a human. And maybe the final lesson is this: life isn't measured by how long it lasts. It's measured by how well it's lived. And sometimes, in living brightly, even briefly, we shine in ways no ancient tree ever could.